Pressure is always on companies to produce fatter profits, but it's particularly acute now given worries that interest rates may stay high for a while. Worries about tensions in the Middle East are sending prices for oil and gold higher, while Treasury yields fall as investors are looking for safer places for their money. Also at townhall.com, White House National Security spokesman John Kirby says more trucks have been delivering aid to Gaza residents.
Over the last few days, we have seen more than 1,000 trucks get in. That is certainly welcome.
However, the UN says the surge of aid is being hampered due to persistent distribution difficulties. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is blocking a move to invite Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to address a joint session of Congress. On the Salem news program, This Week on the Hill, House Speaker Mike Johnson, who initiated that invitation, says Schumer's foot dragging is unfortunate.
Right now, Israel is at war. Their very identity, their very existence is being threatened, and the idea that we would not roll out the red carpet and invite our close friend and ally to come and update the Congress on that, to me is unconscionable. I don't know what Chuck Schumer is doing with that. This should have been signed many days ago and sent, so we're trying to apply the pressure that's necessary to make sure that happens. I need his signature on the paper so that we can get that sent.
The full interview with Speaker Johnson heard on This Week on the Hill, premiering this weekend on many of these same stations. The Dow is down 563 points. More at townhall.com.
Our government has engorged itself on borrowed money. Now we are over $30 trillion in debt. If this bubble finally implodes, many Americans will be left penniless and heartbroken. For example, what happens if state and federal pension funds go broke, or if 401ks and IRAs get cut in half due to hyperinflation? Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow, news analyst, best-selling author, and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. People who understand something big is coming. Now's the time to prepare with a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Precious metals are among the most proven hedges you can make. And they're even better inside a tax advantage account. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached, so just text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Beautiful sunshine today with high temperatures right around the 70-degree mark, dry air, and a pretty brisk breeze, so hang on to your hat out there. But again, a nice sunny, mild Friday. Look at this, 80s over the weekend, 83 on Saturday, 86 on Sunday. Plenty of sunshine over the weekend. Our next chance for rain is Tuesday, and it looks like maybe there's a risk of severe with that as well, so stay tuned. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Earhart.
This hour of Colombo and Katie brought to you by Gutter Pros. Water goes where we tell it. Call 314-656-7195 or visit them at gutterpros.com.
Like any good conservative, we have our principles and our values.
If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world,
I don't even know how conservatives can even take their head out of the ground long enough to complain about anything.
You're trying to call us conservatives Nazis.
I think they ought to be ashamed.
it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
All we want is freedom and liberties and less government.
I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm an American.
Welcome home.
Because everyone gets a voice.
This is News Talk STL.
News and information.
Welcome home. Tony Colombo.
Libertarianism is all about individual liberty.
Katie Fitzpatrick.
Oh, good for you.
Colombo and Katie on News Talk STL.
Time to rise, has been engaged. We're better, best to rearrange. I'm talking here to me alone. I listen to the finest work song. Your finest hour.
Hello and welcome to Friday afternoon here on Colombo and Katie on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Tony Colombo here, Katie Fitzpatrick there, and a busy day to wrap up the week and hopefully what is going to be a nice weekend for everybody. I have a lot of outdoor, like working in the yard plans, so I need it to be a good weekend because I got a lot of work to do out there.
And when I say same, I mean David. I will be watching from the window.
With a glass of iced tea.
I will be watching from the window. Maeve will be wanting to get out there with Daddy.
With
but
a glass of iced tea going, you missed us, spot!
The dandelions are sure bad this time of year.
You're just going to leave those vines on the fence, huh? We're just going to pretend like those aren't there? I'll get them, thank you.
Yep. Swinging on my porch swing. Hanging out.
Well, we will find out if it's going to be a nice weekend or not when we talk to Steve Templeton, Chief Meteorologist at Channel 4. He is going to join us like he does every Friday for the weekend forecast at about 2:45 this afternoon, so definitely keep it here for that. Also, we are going to talk with Ken Williams from the Vic Porcelli Show in a few moments, and starting out the show with us to get things rolling on a Friday, again, like every Friday afternoon at this time, our buddy Gabe Phifer from Mike Ferguson in the Morning is with us on the line. Gabe, hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. You know what time it is.
Dude, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is?
I do not. I do not know what time it is. But I'm definitely, like the both of you, I'm looking forward to a nice sunny weekend where I can get some work outside done. So
yeah.
That's I think all of us are going to do that. Home Depot is going to be busy.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that weekend forecast from Steve Templeton here in just a little bit. I want to get into, I have some reaction. Of course, there's reaction to Donald Trump's visit to Chick-fil-A. And some of the reporting about that visit is pretty amazing. I've got a really crazy example of Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, boy.
I want to get into that stuff while we have Gabe on the line and also when we get Ken in here. But I want to start, so we're going to get to that in a second, but I want to start with, I don't know if either of you saw this police body cam that just has been released from New York about surrounding a incident at one of the Ramada Inns at this hotel that's just like an apartment complex now where they put illegal immigrants to live there for free.
I did see this.
Did you see this? Okay, so I'm gonna set the stage here, and then I just want to get everybody's reaction to it because I think your reactions might be similar to mine. Video released by the Yonkers Police Department today begins with a caller telling a dispatcher, quote, "The guy's unruly over here. He's getting very violent with everyone. He's throwing stuff at everybody. Please send somebody over here right away." This is a 911 call being made by an employee at this Ramada Inn, which I guess is no longer a hotel because it's just an apartment complex now for illegal immigrants, which...
That's like a fancy hotel.
That needs to be something that everybody realizes is happening in this world, like, big time.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being the employees of this Ramada? Like,
oh, my gosh.
They went from working at a hotel to, like, being the servants.
Yeah.
You know, like the live-in butlers for illegal immigrants. Anyway, this 911 call is no joke. You can go and hear it yourself. This guy, he's cutting off the 911 dispatchers. They're trying to ask more questions. He keeps on saying, like, please send us somebody now. Please send somebody now. So anybody that wants to act like this is like the police overreacting or coming, gangbusters into a situation that wasn't, wasn't called for. This is what they think, what they know they're getting themselves into. They're getting themselves into a situation where the person calling is saying, please send somebody now. This is getting out of control. This is getting out of control. Send somebody now. Send somebody now. So, of course, the police are going to come in, a little bit hot to try to take care of that situation. But Again, but I mean, even then, I mean, I don't even know that they even did come in hot. And when you watch this video, I think it was pretty appropriate to everything. Anyway, the video shows officers engaged in a struggle as they tried to take a man into custody who was later identified as Arnell Kent, a 35-year-old. At one point in the footage, when police were trying to put Kent into a squad car, a woman, now identified as Yanelit Hernandez, can be seen trying to prevent the officer from opening the cruiser's door. You hear the police yelling, "Move out of the way." A voice is heard repeating that over and over again. Other people are trying to get in the way of the cops and tell the cops not to arrest this guy. All these people that are living there and all those, are angry at the cops, especially this one Hernandez woman who's physically trying to stop the cops. After disobeying several attempts to move, officers had to push Hernandez out of the way in order to get the door open and get Kent into the police car. Hernandez attempted to pull officers away from Kent in the process. The body cam footage later shows Hernandez being taken to the ground by police and brought into custody herself. When officers attempted to place Hernandez into handcuffs, she immediately pulled away from several officers and attempted to strike them with her hands. In the struggle, one officer sustained injuries to his right knee and wrist and subsequently had to be placed off duty. Kent, the guy who was originally the problem, who got the police called in the first place, he's already been released.
Oh.
With no bail, on an appearance ticket. I'm sure that'll bring him back. He was charged with menacing. What a charge. Menacing, disorderly conduct, obstruction of governmental administration, and resisting arrest. According to local news sources, he arrived in the U.S. from Venezuela last fall and alleged that hotel staff had been mistreating him. And I guess that's what started this situation. The New York Department of Homeless Services has relocated about 250 migrants and children into the Yonkers Ramada since May of last year, according to the police department. Hernandez, the woman, is still being held in jail, charged with assault, obstruction of government administration, and resisting arrest. So many things to unpack here, Gabe.
Yeah.
Just the fact that all of these people just live in this hotel now, and I guess that's just okay. I mean, we know about it, but when you read a story like this, we know that people are being put in hotels. But it's whenever you see the videos or read into a story, it becomes more real. So just think about that. There's these hotels in New York and in other cities across the country that used to be hotels and are now just free apartments. Can you imagine? I mean, I would love to live in a free apartment, especially one as nice as some of these hotels are. So, okay. So they just live in this hotel now. Who's paying for that? How long do they get to live there? Why did one of these people get released with no bail and one person didn't? I have so many. The system is so broken. None of this makes any sense. How do you unpack or try, just even respond to a story like this, Gabe?
Well, there's a lot to this because this is actually my neck of the woods. I think I may have actually stayed at that Ramada Inn. I think if it's the one on Tuckahoe Road, then I probably have stayed on that at that exact Ramada Inn. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, kind of hits close to home.
Yeah. There's no vacancies right there right now, so you're not going back, Gabe.
No, it's all sold out, right? With quotes around sold. Yeah, there's so much to this. I mean, first of all, like you said, it's the crowding in of these illegal aliens into these places. I doubt the people who own the hotel had too much to say to whatever government agency said, "Hey, we're going to take over your hotel." And even if they did, that's guaranteed money, so they'd be dumb not to, I guess, on some level. But then on top of it, you just have the nature of the beast of dealing with people whose first act of coming into our country was to break our laws, several of them. So I'm not surprised at the unruliness, the violence, and the thumbing the nose at the authorities. When I see a guy in a uniform with a gun, I usually try to be pretty compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I couldn't imagine doing anything like that in another country. There are some countries where you would get publicly caned and then like thrown in the ocean. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Or just disappear
I-
without a trace. Like
oh yes,
like
absolutely.
we used to have a dad, but he's gone, and nobody knows where he's
gone
at.
now.
But
He
but
said the wrong thing to that guy in the nice uniform.
right, it really goes. But what it really drives home just how backwards and broken things are. At least in my opinion, it does, because
Yes.
we've talked about this. We've talked about this type of thing with, just in the city of St. Louis. When you put a group of people and you give them everything for free, they're not going to value. Like, if I was living in a hotel like that, I would be like, this is sweet. I'm living in this nice hotel. This is a pretty good deal. But when you just get everything handed to you for free, you're not going to value what it is. You become, like, I was reading, if you read into this story, there's complaints that are being made by the migrants that are like, they're not getting enough good treatment.
Yes.
They're not getting enough good treatment, or they're not. It's like you're living in a
I'm tired of this
hotel
bland food
for free. Exactly. That exact kind of thing. That exact kind of thing. Or like, we don't have enough people protecting enough security around here. We don't have enough people protecting us. Like, you have rooms and doors that lock and free residence. And I'm not saying your life is perfect. And I'm not saying that just because you're getting free things, your human rights should be violated, because they shouldn't. But don't act like you are deserving of more stuff when you're already getting this. It's just Gabe, it's just so how did we allow it to get to this point?
Well, it's basically it's like raising a kid, and I think the three of us, we're all at some slightly different stage in raising children.
Yeah.
Tony, you've got experience through the full gamut.
Yeah,
so
that's
far.
true. Yeah. Unfortunately, no.
But how do you? We all know how you raise a brat, where brats come from.
Right.
A brat is somebody whose parents, they set a boundary and they never followed through. Or when the kid asks for something, they always got it. You never denied them anything. If the decision came down to what you want and what they want, they always got what they want in the end. And that's how you raise a brat. Well, we've created an entire world basically full of bratty children coming across our border, because the first thing that happened was, hey, we set a boundary. It's called the border of our United States.
Mm-hmm.
And they crossed it, and we said, well, I guess that's okay. We'll figure something out. Yeah. That's the first boundary that was crossed.
Yeah.
And they crossed every single boundary after that.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. When you are handed everything by arguably the most powerful government in the entire world, the people in the United States, we are the most powerful government, actually. But
yes,
when you cross the border, and it's not a stranger putting you up in their house, it's not a secretive thing where people are saying, come cross illegally and we'll stash you in the basement. When it is the United States government saying, when you cross the border, you can go to the Ramada Hotel and you can eat for free and hang out. What in your mind, I'm thinking about this, there is nothing, I would be like, oh, I'm capable of doing whatever I want then. Because the United States government is watching over me, has my back, is protecting me to some level. And it doesn't even matter if the owner of the Ramada Hotel comes to try to kick me out. The United States government says, nope, they can stay. So why wouldn't they have the mindset? Why wouldn't they think, I could actually get away with beating the crap out of a police officer? The first move of entitlement, Tony, that you said in this entire video and this entire 911 call was a bunch of other illegal immigrants fighting police officers saying, you can't come in and mess with
this guy. Was throwing furniture like through walls and like trying to attack employees of the hotel who on the 911 call are very clearly desperate. Like, please send somebody here quickly. And when the police arrive, he's the hero.
Right. The other illegal immigrants are thinking they have a place to say, you don't get to come.
This is police brutality, and this is police overreaction, and how could you be taking him away from here?
Because they're
the
like,
man who was just throwing, literally throwing furniture through the walls.
Because they're thinking in their minds, and this is awful, but what does this law enforcement have against? What do they have to combat the United States government when the government is on their side?
And they also know that they
minds,
probably don't have anything to worry about.
They don't. They don't. That's the whole point of what I'm saying. They have nothing to worry about.
Like you said, Gabe, when I see a person with, and I've had, unfortunately, interactions with the police where it's been a bad situation for me because of either the people I was around or the situation I was in. The last thing the last thing in my mind in that situation is to tell the cop why he's doing the wrong, why he's in the wrong. The last thing in my mind is to tell the police officer, to stick it where the sun don't shine, and what are you even doing here? But that's the first thing but you know what? When you've been
let alone throw hands.
Yeah, but when you've been taught that, even if you do get arrested, you're not going to be held, and the laws don't apply to you anyway, I guess.
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah, and the fact that he's back out on the street again.
Yeah. And that she's not.
Amazing.
This is the whole system is so broken. She definitely deserved to go to jail too. I'm not saying why is she still in jail, but why is one of them out and one of them not? What is the difference?
It's very random.
They're literally the same charge, resisting arrest and interference with a government official. They're literally identical charges, and yet one's being held on bail and one was allowed out. None of that makes any sense. None of that makes any sense. Why are we living in this crazy world? How did we let this happen? I mean,
maybe when she swung on that one cop, he took it real personal.
Maybe it's more. Maybe swinging at that cop. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe throwing a chair at a cop is not as big a deal as throwing a punch at a cop. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. That is Gabe Phifer from Mike Ferguson in the Morning. He's going to stick around, and we're going to be joined by Ken Williams from the Vic Porcelli Show. I want to continue the conversation. There is more fallout from Trump's visit to Chick-fil-A yesterday, and that I want to get into. And Katie, remember yesterday also when we were talking about Joy Behar?
Yes.
And I brought up the point about how some people just have, no matter what the conversation is, you could be asking hey, what do you want to get for dinner? And they'll bring up Donald Trump.
Yes.
It all has to go back to Donald Trump no matter what. I have a perfect example of that situation. It's happened on CNN this morning. They were talking about O.J. Simpson and his trial. And the CNN host brings up Donald Trump.
Oh, not again.
And works Donald Trump into the 1995 criminal trial of O.J. Simpson. Yeah, in a way that will make you roll your eyes even harder than you already are. So we'll get into those stories and more with Gabe Phifer and Ken Williams here on Colombo and Katie on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
You're listening to Colombo and Katie. Number one for live and local conservative talk. News Talk STL. If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
The far left wants to destroy conservative values in America.
This is News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Man, going into this weekend, it looks like it's going to be getting warm, and maybe these warm temperatures are going to be sticking around. Great time to be enjoying the great outdoors. And, of course, before your next trip into the great outdoors, you can prepare for that trip by going to Bluff City Outdoors in Alton. Bluff City is about a mile east of Fast Eddie's. They're on Broadway in Alton. For decades has been the go-to place for fishermen in the area, and about 2 years ago now, they totally rehabbed the place and put an expansion on, and now they have more services and more products for the entire outdoor community. They have their state-of-the-art archery range, which is open every day. You can shoot every day there at Bluff City Outdoors. Also, the state-of-the-art techno hunt system And man, this is just the perfect time to be getting ready, especially for fishermen. Perfect time of the year, probably the best time of the year to be getting out on the water. And you can stock up the tackle box and get ready for your next trip out on the water there at Bluff City Outdoors. Also, don't forget about the Bluff City Outdoors show hosted by myself and Mark McMurray, the owner of Bluff City Outdoors. You can hear that every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. here on News Talk STL. And learn more and follow everything that's happening at Bluff City Outdoors by following them on Facebook and at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
My friend, death is certain. Are you prepared? Larry Connors here. I don't want to scare you, but your funeral plans are an important conversation you need to have with your spouse, family, other loved ones. My friend Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial can help find you an affordable, final expense life insurance policy, regardless of your health condition. You could qualify up to $30,000 of lifetime coverage. Life insurance plans with Senior Memorial also offer living benefits towards hearing and diabetic supplies, access to a 24-hour teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones. Call my friend Benjamin at Senior Memorial and discover your legacy at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Hi, Sean Long from STL Fenceworks. A new fence or deck is an investment in your home and your lifestyle. But how do you ensure that you're getting the most out of that investment? At STL Fenceworks, we know the key is satisfaction. Satisfaction means getting a fence or deck that not only meets your needs, but exceeds your expectations. Satisfaction means working with a team that cares about your project as much as you do. Satisfaction means having confidence in the quality of your new fence or deck, knowing that it was built with the best of materials and workmanship. STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion. And for me, satisfaction is knowing that providing for your family is how I provide for mine. Visit STLFenceworks.com and experience the satisfaction in making your backyard dreams into a reality.
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
News Talk STL.
She's the type of beauty they all want to be. She uses them all, the girls and the boys. To her, they're just her personal toys. She's wicked. She doesn't care if she really did it. She's wicked. With a wink and a smile, she has you right from the start.
Welcome back to Colombo and Katie on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL. Tony and Katie in studio with now Ken Williams from the Vic Porcelli Show. Great to see you, buddy.
Hey, guys. I want to try and see if I can go to another country and get in a Ramada Inn free.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
No, I mean, they can do it here. I want to go there.
Yeah,
Cancun.
Gabe, this is a great idea. We got Gabe Phifer on the line as well. Let's four of us, let's go be migrants to pick somewhere.
I don't care.
Would be a great place to go.
China.
Italy.
They're all coming here. I mean.
Italy. We could go. We could take a vacation in Italy. We could take a vacation. Yeah, and let's just say we're migrants and we expect to be put up.
Yeah.
In a Ramada Inn for free.
I identify as migrant.
Migrant.
I identify as illegal.
Yeah, illegal alien. Put me up, baby.
Let's do it.
I don't think it would work. It works
I'm
here.
just here for a better life.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's right. We might elect Donald Trump in America. You got to let me in. And that might work. It might work in some places.
Yep.
All right.
If they keep the free Mai Tais flowing, let's
right. All right. Speaking of Donald Trump, of course, there's been fallout about his visit to Chick-fil-A. So I want to read you this story, and then I want to get everybody's reaction to it. The Trump supporter who met former President Donald Trump at the Atlanta Chick-fil-A spoke out this morning against the media coverage of black voters, accusing mainstream outlets of warping the perception about Trump's popularity in the community. So this is Michaela Montgomery. She's the one that took the picture with Donald, hugged Donald Trump at Chick-fil-A. She was the one that, was saying, hey, Mr. Trump, don't believe what they say. We've got your back. We love you. She was interviewed this morning by Lawrence Jones, not Lawrence. What's his name? What's the guy's name on Fox News? Lawrence
Jones.
Anyway, is it Jones? Okay.
Yeah.
Why was I thinking that's not his name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. She was interviewed by Lawrence today. And she said, quote, the general consensus or social media would have you thinking that if President Trump were to show up to the HBCU, that's the historically black colleges and university campuses, that like some angry mob would form or a riot would ensue and that he would not be welcome. And clearly the sentiment in that room the other day was the complete opposite. He was very welcome. People were excited to see him. People showed up in support of him. And people, of course, were from all four institutions within the AUC. That's the Atlanta University Center that was working with the historically black colleges and universities community in Atlanta. And these groups were all there represented at Chick-fil-A. And she said, and they all showed up in support of him. She then goes on to address the media reaction to her hug and what she said. And she said, quote, because like I said, to think that these students who attend these illustrious institutions aren't smart enough to make their own decisions, so much so that they would only show support for Trump because he bought chicken sandwiches and milkshakes. That in itself is the most disturbing part of it all, especially when you think about the fact that it was mainly urban media outlets that were doing everything in their power to turn other black people against these young black kids who simply were not shy to explore other options. Gabe, I want to get your thoughts first. Apparently, down there in Atlanta, a lot of this media, and according to Michaela Montgomery, a lot of the black urban media outlets have been trying to twist what happened there at Chick-fil-A into some kind of, well, the only reason these kids were happy to see him is because he was buying chicken and milkshakes. I mean, can we get more racist than that, Gabe? I mean, like, it just doesn't, it's unbelievable to me, the level that people will stoop to. But, you know, it destroys their narrative if they admit that there are black voters or minority voters or really any voters that actually support Donald Trump. It destroys their narrative. So I guess they have to cut down these young black kids just to protect their own narrative. What are your thoughts?
Well, one of the primary things you got to remember is that there's a political establishment at play here. You know, just as much as there is a political establishment among white academics at like Harvard and MIT and whatnot, and a political establishment in immigrant communities and things like that the Democrats have set up to try and say that they are the singular advocates for those people in government. It's the same thing with the black community. I think the major issue is just that it's been ascendant in the black community for so long, so that there was this presupposition that the political establishment and individuals within the black community were always simpatico when it comes to political thought. But, you know, now I think for some reason, Donald Trump has managed to start to put a few cracks in that perception. Part of it, I think, is just because for so long he was embraced as a sort of aspirational figure in urban music and things like that. So, when it finally comes down to it, it's like, wait a second. Let me realign my brain here, because 5 seconds ago I was cool with this guy, and then this political establishment told me that he's a racist, and now he's here in front of me, and he seems like a pretty cool guy. Maybe I need to rethink what the establishment is.
The same establishment.
They don't like that.
The same establishment that set the bar of him being cool, like you just mentioned.
Yes.
It's the same establishment that was like helping embrace Donald Trump because he was, the white gangsta, thing.
Yep.
That whole idea. Now it's the same group saying, "Oh no, we can't like him anymore." Like it's
absolutely.
It's got to be like, if you're trying to live in that world of like. You don't get to make up your own mind. You just have to be the hive mind that goes along with whatever your group is saying. It's got to be a full-time job just to keep up with like, okay, what's our message today? What are we thinking? You know what I mean? Like, what's our thoughts on so-and-so today? Because I know it changes on a daily basis.
Well,
Ken,
that's
what are
how
your
the
thoughts?
left is. You have to download everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, Gabe, no, what I'm trying to get my mind around is, Gabe, I'm trying to imagine if there was a white leader or a white organization or a white group that said, all right, all of you white people, you shouldn't like this guy because he's kind of a racist. I just can't get my mind around. I'd be like, well, okay, first of all, by default, I'm going to disagree with you. And so I can't imagine people in general, being black, would just automatically fall for that.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. When you're a minority, the threat of the majority is ascendant, especially if you're coming from a historical position where those threats were real. So I mean, what the thing is, what the Democrats managed to do somehow, and this is the actual amazing thing about it, is what the Democrats managed to do was they managed to pin their entire history on the Republicans. So whoops, Democrat support.
Easy over there.
Sorry about that. Something going on in my kitchen in here.
It's the media. They're coming for you.
They're coming to get me. But Democrat support for slavery, the Democrat Civil War, the Democrat creation of their terrorist wing of the KKK, all of these things, their Democrat segregationist policies, the Democrat Jim Crow era periods, Democrat opposition to civil rights, all of those things they somehow managed through information warfare on some other level that it was all Republicans. Like that,
Yeah.
that was what the conservative position was since the beginning, and they managed to convince everybody that was true. And for some reason it stuck, and I think part of it is just because of their control of media, their control of information, their control of schools. So they've been feeding. It's been a steady diet for since the 60s of that sort of messaging. So it's going to be tough to really break through, but it's coming. It seems to be coming.
Gabe, I remember back at the old place before the 2020 election on Chris and I's Weekend Report show, talking to Congressman Burgess Owens, who was actually on with Tim and Chris yesterday afternoon. I love talking to that guy. I always feel a little bit better about the future of the planet whenever I hear from Burgess Owens. But I remember talking about black support as far as, the black vote for Donald Trump. And we were talking about how he set a record in 2016. He broke his own record in 2020. And I remember talking with Congressman Owens about, if Donald Trump gets, at the time we were talking about around 15%. And we were talking about, if Donald Trump can get 20 to 25% of the black vote, it's game over. Because, that is just a massive number that would be insurmountable by the Democrats. The most recent New York Times poll shows that Donald Trump has support from 23% of black voters, and some have even speculated that he could get as much as 30% in the 2024 election. Yeah. Well, that's what I want to know from you. Does that sound accurate to you? Do you feel like those inroads have been made to that level? Because my God, if that's the case, I mean, I don't know how, that is a truly really is an insurmountable number for the Democrats to try to still win if Donald Trump is able to score that kind of support from the black community. And we're also seeing, such big numbers from the Hispanic community and other voting, young voters, other voting blocks that don't typically go for Republicans, and Donald Trump is making inroads big time. You believe those numbers?
It's hard for me to believe those numbers, but I'm hopeful. I do see, just demonstrably so. There's a lot more vocal people in various minority communities and communities that tended to be less amenable to Republican voting. They seem to be kind of outspoken here. My hope is that the support you see in these polls actually turn out to be the type of support you see in the votes come November. But I'm also worried about the concentrations of that level of support. If we're saying that Donald Trump gets 30% of the black vote in New York, that may not be enough to give him New York electoral votes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in Georgia, it would absolutely,
no doubt,
it would destroy Biden in Georgia. So it's going to come down to the wire, I think. And I'm really hopeful that the tide is turning. So here's hoping. Let's check it out in November.
Ken, have you ever heard of Trump derangement syndrome?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Have you ever...
I hear about it and experience it almost every day.
I want to switch gears slightly and get both of your guys' reaction to this story. So yesterday, Katie and I were talking about the ladies on The View, and I brought up Joey Behar. Joey Behar was talking to Sonny Hostin about O.J. Simpson, and Joey Behar has to bring up Donald Trump out of nowhere, and we talked about how exhausting it is to know that people, because she even proudly stated, like, Sonny Hostin was, for once, the voice of reason, was like, everything comes back to Trump, frustrated about it, because, she's trying to make a point that has nothing to do with Donald Trump or current politics or anything. She's talking about O.J. Simpson, and Joey Behar said, yep, I did bring it back to Trump, and I will always do it because I won't rest. How exhausting of a life is that that these people, and that there are a lot of them out there, that you can't say, hey, what do you want to have for dinner tonight? I was thinking about having McDonald's. Oh, because Donald Trump likes McDonald's? That's why you want to go there?
That's exactly it.
Everything is about, everything has to be brought. It's just got to be so exhausting. Another perfect example of this, of TDS, was on a display on CNN this morning. Host Cassie Hunt suggested this morning that supporters of Donald Trump would have defended O.J. Simpson during his murder trial in 1995. How these things connect, I have no idea, but I'll explain to you so you can respond. Cassie Hunt was on with anti-Trump GOP strategist, Republican strategist that's anti-Trump, Sarah Longwell, who claimed there were some very Trump elements in the Simpson trial that resonated on the cultural level. Quote, as a culture, everyone kind of knows Trump is guilty. Did you kind of know that Trump is guilty?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently you're not part of everyone. Again, this is that Sarah Longwell. Quote, as a culture, everyone kind of knows Trump is guilty the way we all knew that OJ was guilty. But there's a lot of people invested in it being about something else beyond the guilt, right? Because these figures are so towering and so big that they become stand-ins. They become cultural totems as opposed to just people convicted or being accused of crimes. She added that both Trump and Simpson had or have the ability to make themselves into victims during their respective moments in the spotlight. Cassie Hunt then held up a copy of the New York Post, which their headline yesterday announcing Simpson's death read, "Real killer is dead. Football star, actor, murderer, liar, O.J. Simpson, 76. She holds that up and says, quote, I mean, this is like a political statement, but it's a 90s political statement. Part of me wonders if it were reversed in this day and age, too, that the MAGA crew wouldn't have been behind O.J. Simpson." Any of that make sense to you, Ken?
It is so twisted. I really don't even know how to respond to it, except to say I resent the idea that they're even comparing Donald Trump to O.J. Simpson at all. I mean, I think it's disingenuous. I think it's intellectually dishonest.
Agreed.
And when they do this kind of thing, they're doing it for a reason. They're comparing these two people who have nothing in common. Nothing is comparing either of them. And it doesn't make sense to me because you can't. It's like apples and oranges.
Right.
It's not even close to how you could compare Donald Trump to O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson's a murderer.
Right.
Trump is not. O.J. Simpson's a criminal. Trump, by the way, everyone, is not.
Well,
until proven guilty, and even
everyone
then,
kind of knows he's guilty. I know that because I heard it on CNN today.
Yeah,
I know that's true because I heard it on CNN today.
All right.
Gabe, if Donald Trump was running for president in 1995 while O.J. Simpson was on trial, the supporters of Trump would be supporting O.J. Simpson because,
It's a wild claim. I am so confused.
This is on national television. This is CNN. This is like supposed to be like one of the most respected news organizations in the world. That's even beyond Trump derangement syndrome, I think, Gabe, because it's like you're desperately trying to connect dots where they don't. Not only do they not exist, they're not even in the same galaxy.
No.
Like, what are we talking about?
I would say that's fourth stage Trump derangement syndrome, and I think it may be a terminal case. I'm not sure. I don't
fourth
think
stage 4.
Stage 4 terminal.
Yeah, stage 4
TDS.
Yeah, stage 4 TDS.
Oh, Gabe, you're giving me information on my new commercial that's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I've got one coming up. We're going to talk about that later. It's just a little tease.
I can't wait.
Is there a medication? Is there a new medication coming out?
Yes, there is.
Oh,
yes, there
good.
is.
Oh,
yeah.
So
we all need some.
Big Pharma's going to be good for something.
Yeah,
Let's
no
go.
kidding.
Even for stage 4 TDS.
Is the Pfizer media going to support this medication, Ken? I don't know about that.
No, I don't know about that. Pfizer would probably be against it, actually.
I think I know the answer to this question, but for both of you, Ken, you first. All of this, when people see that on CNN, this madness of trying to somehow connect the death of O.J. Simpson to Donald Trump, and not only Donald Trump, but to Donald Trump supporters. Like, they're connecting it to you, Ken.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to make it about you.
Right.
Like, this is saying something bad about you.
Yes.
Like, if you support Donald Trump, then you think that O.J. Simpson was innocent and shouldn't have been in jail. Like, what in the hell? How are we even getting there?
Well, that's why I resent it.
Yeah. So my question is, in the long run, are they just continuing to prop up Donald Trump and put momentum behind with all this? Because when you're just ridiculously attacked, I think people see right through it. Just like all these charges, I think this is actually, in the long run, this is the best thing that can happen to Donald Trump.
You can have people who are watching CNN and MSNBC all the time, and they're never going to change. They're going to be like, yeah, this is cool, and all that. But you've got people that are actually watching that, a couple of people that are watching those shows, those networks or whatever, and they're saying, wait a minute, Michaela Montgomery, she actually hugged him and said she passionately, it wasn't planned or anything.
Yeah.
Said, we want you to know that we're behind you no matter what these other people say.
Lying.
And the media's lying. These people that are watching all this, and they're going, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
CNN said this, but Michaela said this.
Right.
There's a problem here.
Yeah. All right. Great stuff, as always. That is Ken Williams from the Vic Porcelli Show. Of course, you can hear Ken and Vic every day at 9 a.m. Also, Gabe Phifer from Mike Ferguson in the Morning. Every day at 5:30 right here on News Talk STL. Also, make sure you're following Gabe's YouTube channel, St. John the Philosopher on YouTube. Gabe and Ken, boys, thank you so much, as always, for your time this afternoon. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys. God bless.
Yeah, back at you. Great stuff there. All right, speaking of that weekend, is it going to be a positive one weather-wise? We're going to find out. We're going to get all those details when we talk to Channel 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton next on Colombo and Katie.
Mike Ferguson in the Morning.
Listen, we know the Second Amendment doesn't mean a whole lot to the Biden administration, but on Monday, we're going to bring you the update on their latest attempt to curtail your gun rights.
Mornings starting at 5:30 on News Talk STL.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Mayela Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmoscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmoscholars.org. That's herzogmoscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Steve Templeton's Weekend Forecast, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com.
Welcome back to Colombo Katie on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL. That time of the week where we get the all-important weekend forecast from Channel 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton, who is on the line with us now. Steve, as always, thanks for your time. How are you?
My pleasure, Tony. I'm doing good. I think you're going to like what I have to say today.
I was trying to not get my hopes up until we spoke, but yeah, I feel like there's a change, a positive change heading our way. So please walk us through the next few days.
Especially if you want it warmer. You're going to love this weekend.
Let's go.
Big warm-up. We're talking 80s, both Saturday and Sunday. Nice. I'll show you how close we are to the record, too, coming up. But first, let's talk about tonight. It's all dry. It's cool. Overnight low down to 47 degrees, but that's near normal, actually. But temperatures will skyrocket in the afternoon, mostly sunny, and 84. Not quite as windy, gusts maybe 20, 25 miles an hour, so a little breeze, but not as gusty. But that's a gorgeous Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's actually warmer Sunday. We'll have a few clouds in the morning and then mostly sunny in the afternoon. 87 for the high. The record is 92 from 2006.
Okay.
So within 5 degrees of that record come Sunday.
Nice. And did you say mostly sunny both of those days too, with a little bit of wind maybe, but mostly sunny on top of the heat?
Just about. Maybe a few clouds in the morning Sunday, a little system coming through, but any rain or storms from that look like they're going to miss our area well to the south and southeast. So we might see a few clouds early Sunday morning and then mostly sunny and that high of 87. Looks just great.
So, I think we're all kind of a little out of whack right now because we had this super mild winter. We had a couple of days that were at 80 already, and then we kind of dipped back into this cold weather, and now here comes the heat again. I'm confused on where we're supposed to be. Are we supposed to be like around 80 or like upper 70s right now, or is this warm for this time of the year, or is this about normal for this time of year?
Honestly, that sounds like a perfect April in St. Louis where you really have no clue what's normal. No, it could snow on Easter in April in St. Louis, and then, it's 80s and you're breaking out the sunscreen.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. It's been pretty crazy. So normal high would be pretty much like today. Today would be like a normal day, right around 67 degrees, 68 degrees. But we're going to be obviously 20 degrees above that for Saturday, Sunday. And it looks like it lasts for a few days. It's not until late next week, like maybe Friday, we really cool down, maybe a high of only 60 next Friday. So, don't put all the jackets away yet and the long sleeves and the quarter zips and stuff. Keep that out. But in the meantime, the next several days do look warm. And one caveat, we do have a first alert weather day already issued. It's an early alert, but still first alert weather day for Tuesday. Okay. Could be some strong storms late day or more likely evening. But as we get closer to that, we'll pinpoint the chance for some severe weather. It's an early alert. In the meantime, just enjoy a really nice warm weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I've got a lot of work to do outside this weekend, so that sounds fantastic. One last question for you, and I don't mean to spring this on you, so if you don't have all the details, it's not a big deal. But another thing that's happening this time of year, of course, is allergies. Do you know about where we're at as far as allergens in the air and things like that? Is it good times, bad times right now in St. Louis?
Yeah. It's bad times if you suffer from allergies. Yeah. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's tree pollen. That is the main culprit. Mold, and today actually grass just popped up to low, but that's not the main culprit. It's tree pollen. I'm allergic to it. I've been taking my pill, the nasal spray ever since we popped those warm temperatures in February. Yeah. And that's really what you need to do. And you'll want to do it now, even though it's kind of just a coolish day, because this weekend with that warm weather, and especially with the rain we just had, I think things are just going to open up and spread more and more of that pollen. I think we're going to be hitting peak tree pollen season basically this weekend and through probably the next week or so.
Yeah.
Our allergies are buck wild right now in the Fitzpatrick household.
In our house, too. That's why I wanted to ask. So take that allergy medicine and enjoy the warm weather. Steve, thank you so much. I'll take that weekend forecast every time. If you can put this one on repeat for the next couple months, that'd be fantastic. Thanks.
No guarantee. You know how it is.
Yes,
for sure.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, as always, really appreciate your time, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
It's really my pleasure. Thank you.
You bet. Great stuff there. Channel 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton with a great weekend forecast for us.
I'm going to wear shorts.
Whoa!
I'm going to wear shorts.
Breaking news.
And
Katie
guess
Fitzpatrick's
what?
wearing shorts.
I'm going to blind my husband with these pasty-ass legs. But I'm going to wear the shorts.
I'm going to wear the shorts while I'm telling him what to do outside.
Drinking my lemonade.
All right, we are, believe it or not, we haven't started with the Friday Fun Time yet, but we are going to get into some Friday Fun Time to send you off into your weekend, hopefully with a smile on your face. But a couple more stories to do before that. The latest in the struggle in California for fast food restaurants to stay open. Also, Mike Pence has a new gig.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll tell you about all that stuff next on Colombo and Katie.
Subscribe and watch your favorite News Talk STL shows. Mike Ferguson in the Morning, The Vic Porcelli Show, Colombo and Katie, Jones and Arps. Webcam streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. Subscribe and watch News Talk STL.
Hi, this is Ron Clutho. Join me for Groovy Grooves every Saturday to hear songs like this and memories that will take you back to a groovier place and time. Be sure to check out the playlist at newstalkstl.com for more Groovy Grooves.
And now for something completely different.
Groovy Grooves with Ron Clutho. Saturday nights at 10 on News Talk STL.
Hey everybody, it's Rob Carter. Did you know that every day 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 and need help deciphering their Medicare options? I want to tell you about my lifelong friend, Pamela Berry, Pilgrim Pammy. She has over 2 decades of experience dealing with Medicare insurance. She's an expert specializing in business owners, but she can assist you too. She'll help you navigate and uncomplicate Medicare. With nearly 70 plan options, special enrollments may be available. Call Pilgrim Pammy at 314-659-9841.
Larry Connors, USA.
Hunter Biden and his artwork.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words. What a coward.
The art gallerist apparently claimed that one of Hunter's financial backers purchased most of his paintings for $875,000. What's this? Oh, it's a scribble, but really it's a man walking into his future and seeing his past at the same time.
You're the epitome of white privilege.
They were laundering money, and he had all of his friends coming forward to help him out.
Larry Connors, weeknights at 6 on News Talk STL. Listen anytime.
It happens
anywhere.
Anywhere.
Everywhere.
Every day continues to bring more news.
With the News Talk STL app. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the News Talk STL app in the App Store or at newstalkstl.com. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1 and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Correspondent Ed Donahue reports on passage of a bill to renew a surveillance program.
The bill does not include broad restrictions on how the FBI uses the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, known as Section 702, to search for Americans' data. Critics among the Republicans, Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Do you trust the Department of Justice to hold the FBI accountable? Because I don't.
On his Truth Social site, former President Donald Trump wrote in capital letters, "Kill FISA," saying it was illegally used against him. First authorized in 2008, FISA has been renewed several times and is seen as crucial in disrupting terror attacks, cyber intrusions, and foreign espionage. The bill now moves on to the Senate. Ed Donahue, Washington.
Also at townhall.com, the Democratic National Committee helped pay President Biden's legal fees in the classified documents investigation. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with that report.
Democratic donors covered more than $1 million in legal fees racked up by attorneys representing Joe Biden during the special counsel's probe into his handling of classified documents. The payments were disclosed in regular campaign finance reports to the Federal Election Commission. News of the payments comes after the Biden campaign has repeatedly criticized Donald Trump over the extensive use of donor funds to cover his legal bills stemming from 4 criminal indictments. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Flash flooding was caused by relentless heavy rains that soaked western Pennsylvania. Rescue crews in the Pittsburgh suburb of Oakdale had to use watercraft to evacuate or rescue some residents. No injuries were reported. Wall Street ends the week on a down note. The Dow off 475 points, the Nasdaq losing 267. More at townhall.com.
Has been confirmed. Those brave Americans who are trying to preserve free speech continue to be censored, shadow banned, or silenced. Wealth Protection Research is on a mission to share the liberating ideas of some of America's brightest and most free thinkers. People like Jim Rickards and Porter Stansberry, whose ideas are putting financial control back in the hands of everyday people, helping them protect their money against a government that seems intent on destroying it. Text TRUTH to 76626 to find out more. As this election moves forward, we just released a report that reveals our 3 favorite ideas for protecting and growing your wealth during the 2024 election. These ideas are especially critical if you have an IRA or 401k. Text TRUTH to 76626. Discover ideas that are so simple and actionable they might save your retirement. Text TRUTH to 76626 now for your free report. That's TRUTH to 76626.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got a cool night tonight, but that's near normal. Low down to 47 degrees, and then a warm weekend. You're going to love it. Mostly sunny and 84 for the high Saturday. Sunday, 87. The record's 92. Partly cloudy in the morning, then mostly sunny. A dry and warm weekend coming our way. We are keeping an eye out for Tuesday. A chance for maybe some strong storms late day evening. We've already made that a First Alert weather day. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. Give Benjamin Schaefer a call at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Fox News commentary.
President Biden is reportedly mulling over the idea of taking executive action on the border crisis. It only took 3.5 years and really low poll numbers to get there. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Immigration is shaping up to be the issue of the 2024 election, and Democrats know they have no leg to stand on, and Joe knows it too. After 3.5 years of ignoring the issue, pretending it's not a crisis, and allowing 10 million illegal immigrants to take root in our country, Joe is reportedly considering his options to stem the flow and take executive action. That's cute, but too little too late. We all know this has nothing to do with his genuine will and desire to fix the problem, but rather the poll numbers and number of voters who will jump ship over his handling of the invasion. Joe may very well do something in the next month to make a dent in the problem, but we all know if re-elected, he will open the borders wider than ever once the threat of losing an election isn't looming. Donald Trump is the only answer and the only leader who will take legitimate action. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show Tommy Lahren is Fearless at Outkick.com.
Number 1 for live and local conservative talk.
We need accurate information on this election.
101.9 and 94.1.
I follow the news pretty much throughout the day.
St. Louis is number 1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
I cannot say enough good things about David Ryan, president of Cadre Asset Management, somebody that Christine and I trust when we talk about our family's financial future. And I think somebody that can help you. And no matter what stage of life you are in with your family or your business, David Ryan and his team at Cadre Asset Management can help you. A cadre is defined as a small group of people specially trained for a particular purpose or profession, and that is exactly the role that Cadre Asset Management can play in your financial journey, whether it be financial planning, estate planning, retirement, investments, business financing. David Ryan and his team at Cadre do it all. So if you're a young family starting out, or you're getting close to retirement, or you're a business owner, or you're thinking about becoming a business owner, David Ryan and his team at Cadre Asset Management can help you learn more about how they can help secure your financial future by following Cadre Asset Management on Facebook, or go to the website cadreassetmgmt.com. Lots of money. Welcome back to Colombo and Katie. That is some Perry Woods music. It's Perry Woods Friday. Support local music. Great stuff there from our buddy Perry. Download his music, and after you downloaded all of Perry's music, download other local musicians as well. And as I said, support local music. Welcome back. I'm Tony Colombo. That's Katie Fitzpatrick. Big thank you to Steve Templeton, Chief Meteorologist at Channel 4, for that weekend forecast just a moment ago. If you missed it, it's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Mm-hmm.
84 tomorrow, 87 on Sunday.
Beautiful. I love 80s.
Just a little bit of clouds. Going to be nice, dry, sunny both days. Tonight's getting all the way down to 47.
Hey.
Yeah, which is wild. I mean, it's going to, in 12 hours, it's going to be a 40-degree warm-up.
Wow.
That is St. Louis in April. He did say about the allergies that it's, to steal one of your terms, it's buck wild out there.
It's buck wild, I'm telling you.
With these allergies out there. So take your allergy medicine and enjoy a great weekend this weekend. Also, want to say thank you to Ken Williams from the Vic Borselli Show and Gabe Phifer from Mike Ferguson in the Morning for joining us in that last hour. If you missed any of those great conversations, just make sure you are subscribed to the Colombo and Katie podcast, because we put this show out as a podcast right after we get off the air every day. We put it on every podcast platform, so whatever your favorite podcast platform is, wherever you get your podcast, make sure you subscribe to Colombo and Katie so you never miss anything that happens here on the show. Okay, I wrote an article this week that you can find at newstalkstl.com. Oh, and also, you know what? A perfect opportunity. This is look, my radio instincts just kick it in here.
What's going on? What are you thinking?
My article, not only newstalkstl.com, but you put it in the newsletter.
Sure did.
if people want to make sure that they get that fantastic newsletter so they can see the articles that, I write or Virginia Cruda, Chris, the videos that we do each and every week, lots of great, cool stuff in our weekly newsletter. Remind people about that newsletter and how they can sign up for it.
Absolutely. Go to newstalkstl.com. You can find our newsletter sign up under the Connect button. So newstalkstl.com. Go to Connect, and you will find our sign up for the newsletter. We send it out every single week. It's got really cool content, as Tony just pointed out. We have articles that are written by the hosts and people around News Talk STL. We have clips from shows that you might have missed, podcast highlights, fun videos, all of that cool stuff, and then also previews for events that might be coming up at News Talk STL. So go to newstalkstl.com, click on Connect, and you will see the newsletter sign up right there at newstalkstl.com.
So I have been very much into following what's happening in the state of California since that $20 minimum wage went into effect on April 1st. And if anybody thinks, why are you so worried about, why are you covering a California story so closely? Well, it's because this is the thing. This is being pushed nationally. So this could happen here. The only good thing about this happening in California is it gives us a real world example, a real sample size of what happens to jobs, restaurants, the economy when something like this goes into place.
Yeah.
So, and especially since the governor of California has just about as good a chance at being the next president as Donald Trump and Joe Biden do, I think this is obviously something that is in the best interest of all Americans to understand and monitor. So, again, I have an article about this exact situation that you can read at newstalkstl.com right now. And another brand new headline out today. One McDonald's franchise owner, Scott Roderick, is considering higher menu prices and reduced hours, saying that layoffs are the last thing he wants to do. But that, quote, the last 12 days since this unprecedented law impacted franchisees in California has literally been a whirlwind. Frankly, it feels like an eternity, unquote. He goes on to say, quote, I realize that my customers' appetite for higher prices is not unlimited. So when I take price to relieve margin pressure, it has to be done thoughtfully and with a plan. Charging $10 for an Egg McMuffin or $20 for a Big Mac is not an option. In anticipation of the new law, Roderick lifted his prices 5 to 7% between January and March, but he says that has not been enough, and he's still losing money. So here's a McDonald's franchise owner. He owns 18 McDonald's in the state of California. Starting in January, he started raising prices. He's raised the prices across the board between 5 and 7% in order to try to have a buffer in place for when this new law hit. And he says it's still not enough. He's still losing money. He warned that the new law is likely to have an unprecedented impact on California's franchise business model, saying, quote, price is a lever that an independent business owner like myself can look at to relieve this extraordinary, unprecedented impact on the franchise business model in California. But there are many other things too. I have to somehow grow revenue and reduce costs in my P&L to survive. He says cutting hours of employees and the hours of the restaurant itself is what he's looking at doing next. And that, quote, right now, the focus is survival. And a third-generation daughter that has just joined the business. So the question I have to ask her is whether she believes her next 50 years should be in a place like California and grinding it out, or is operating a franchise somewhere else in the country something that would be smarter for her to do. So this is a guy who is a second-generation owner of McDonald's in California. He inherited the franchises from his dad, and he's going to pass this on to his daughter. They own 18 McDonald's in California, and he's saying right now the conversation he's having with his family is, do we continue to build off this legacy in California of operating McDonald's for the last 50 years, Or is it time to go elsewhere because we can't survive here anymore? And it's really, it's all about the $20 minimum wage. I mean, there's other factors, of course, but this would not be happening if it wasn't for that law being put into place.
The ripple effect that happens because of something like this, because of the 20-hour minimum wage, Democrats, progressives don't think about that. They don't think about
it, and they don't care about it.
Yeah, they don't care about it. They don't care that the minute that you think, let's do $20 an hour because that's what people need to live off of right now. That should be the standard, whatever reason they give. Don't understand that now that the 1%er that they're trying so deeply to get, that CEO or the people that are the franchise owners, whoever they're trying to get in that process to pay their fair share, now has a choice to say, don't really need to be in California anymore. And what I was building here in California that was super lucrative for the area, super lucrative for me, but also provided jobs for other people, don't have to do that here in California. I'll go to Missouri. I'll go to Illinois. I'll go to Arkansas. And when I go there, it'll be a different set of standards, and I can make a legacy elsewhere. It goes back to Trump having these lawsuits against him for his companies in New York. And Letitia James saying, get him for this, get him for that, get him for this, because all of this wasn't legal in his handlings of these businesses, Trump Tower and all these things in New York. Well, now people are evaluating that, as we've discussed over and over again, that are realtor giants that have all these big companies saying we don't need to be in New York anymore. If these are the penalties that we're going to get for just doing regular day-to-day business and operating how we always have, we don't need to be in New York anymore. These coastal states need to wake up and realize people are happy to go somewhere else, from celebrities like Katy Perry all the way to a franchise owner of McDonald's. They don't give a rip about being there anymore. If you're going to change the game on them, they can go somewhere else.
Yep. And in the long run, all of the people that you're pretending to be a hero to, you're hurting them.
Lose a job.
We saw people, we did that story last week about these fast food workers that are losing their job that wanted to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
That said, look, we are actively waiving our right to the $20 minimum wage. Just keep paying us the $15 an hour or $13 an hour or whatever so we can keep our jobs. We don't want the $20. We would rather have our job. We'll sign. And it's like, oh, no, we're doing you a favor with this $20. And it's not even, I mean, in some cases, it's business owners firing people, cutting jobs to make it work. But in a lot of cases, it's the restaurants are just going out of business.
Yeah.
That there isn't even, it's not your hours are getting cut or your job's getting cut. The restaurant is closing because they can't pay these prices. And they know it. The Democrats know it.
They just don't care.
Yeah, they know that this is the way it's going to happen, but they think we're all so stupid. They think that especially minimum wage workers are so stupid that they can just go, "Hey, look, we're fighting for you." It's these evil business owners, which again, these evil business owners aren't winning when their restaurants are closing.
No.
And in many cases, these small business owners, or even McDonald's, this guy's probably, and this Roderick guy is probably fine. Him and his family have owned 18 McDonald's for 50 years. They're probably fine. But the average person that owns one or two McDonald's, if their McDonald's goes out of business, they're not able to feed their family anymore either. It's not like they're just these business owners are sitting on their high horse. I mean, small business owners everywhere are, just as if they lose their business, they're in the same position that the employees that just lost their job are in. Like they can't feed their families anymore either. And so, I mean, and this guy, like he said, cutting hours, not just cutting employees' hours, but cutting back the hours of the restaurant. Remember when before COVID, when everything was open 24 hours?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
All the fast food restaurants were open 24 hours. Schnucks was open 24 hours. Now nothing's open 24 hours. Now everything's closing early, and that's his thing here is you know what? We used to close at midnight. Now I'm probably going to have to close at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Just to shave more operating hours off. We used to open at 5 a.m. Now we're going to open at 6 a.m.
And guess what? We're going to have 3 people working inside.
Yeah.
We're going to have 2 or 3 people working inside. Your food will be delayed. It'll probably be cold.
Yeah.
Might be wrong.
Right.
But that's the way it has to work now.
That's the way it has to work now. All because Democrats are scoring a victory for the working man, which is such a joke.
And I want to emphasize this point, specifically about fast food. If you are someone that works in fast food, more power to you. That's a really, really hard job. That's and you're working your butt off.
And it's getting harder now.
Yeah,
because you're getting less help.
Totally, you're working your buns off, and you're doing what you need to do to provide for yourself. But a lot of folks that are working these positions are also 16 and 17-year-olds who are trying to learn how to have the skill sets at their very first job, at a beginner's job, to learn how to function when they grow up and they become an adult. And you're taking away that opportunity for someone to learn at that age how to function and how to be at a first-time job and struggle a little bit and figure out how to work a cash register, deal with money, deal with people, deal with hours. Now that opportunity is stripped away because they're probably not going to hire people that are 16 and 17 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're exactly right. Mike Pence has a new gig. Pence has a new gig, I said. Isn't everybody hanging on the edge of their seats to find out?
Where he at?
Mike Pence will be teaching a course at Grove City College, a conservative Christian school located in Grove City, Pennsylvania.
I do like Mike Pence.
Quote, "It was an honor to be on campus today and see President Paul McNulty and so many wonderful students," Pence tweeted yesterday with photos of him addressing the annual conference led by the Institute of Faith and Freedom. Pence will serve as the Distinguished Visiting Fellow for Faith and Public Life for the school's new Center of Faith and Public Life, which will explore and support the presence of Christian faith in public institutions. Pence said, quote, "It is my great honor to serve as a visiting fellow to Grove City's College new Center for Faith and Public Life. Faith and engaging in public life are not mutually exclusive, nor should they ever be. History shows that Christians steadily working toward the common good have changed the world, and Grove City College opening a center shows they are committed to continuing that work." And so Mike Pence is going to be teaching a class.
You know what?
Good for Mike Pence.
I say good for Mike Pence.
I do too.
I say good for him. I don't really care what he's doing or where he goes. This seems like a good fit, though. This seems like a good fit.
I totally agree. It seems like a good fit.
And I would rather pay for a course to be taught by Mike Pence than have to be at a course talking about how great Taylor Swift is and how the world could benefit from learning a thing or two about Taylor Swift at Harvard.
Yeah, and how Taylor Swift's music highlights the patriarchy and toxic masculinity and white supremacy.
Good for Mike.
Good for Mike is right. You know, one of the things that I will never ever understand, from an outsider looking in to the Trump, sensation, Mike Pence was. I saw Mike Pence speak live at a very small event in front of about 100 people. Maybe not even that many. And he was carrying the water for Donald Trump. Just propping up Donald Trump, what we're doing, we're on the right track, we're making this country great again. He was the
dude.
The dude. He was the soldier of soldiers. And then he didn't vote to delay the election or whatever it is.
Which he couldn't have done.
And now which he could have done anyway, and now he's like persona non grata. Like, do the Trump people just still think that Mike Pence is this horrible, evil person? Because can you remember, outside of that one decision, which I know I could hear people go, that's a big decision, of course. He was the dude for you for 4 years.
And he's a good person.
The dude.
Good guy.
Carrying the water.
There's issues with
I'll
that.
never get the Trump fans' absolute hatred of Mike Pence. I'm not a huge Mike Pence. I don't think Mike Pence is great. I don't think Donald Trump is the greatest person in the world. I don't think Mike Pence is the greatest person in the world either. But I just am still surprised at how much hatred there is. You love Donald Trump. You loved his presidency. You know this guy played a big role in that presidency, right? Mm-hmm. And brought a calming, consistent influence to those 4 years, right? Again, I'm not saying Mike. Again, Mike Pence is by far my favorite person for president or to be in leadership. I'm not a big supporter of Pence in those areas at all, but I'm just saying, like, you guys were partners for 4 years, and then you had one fallout,
and it was hang Mike
Pence.
And
now it's like he may as well die.
Yeah,
like,
he's what, a pariah?
I don't get it, and I never will. All right, we are getting ready to head off into what is going to be a very nice weekend. So let's lighten the mood, let's have a little fun, and let's do a little Friday fun time next on Colombo and Katie.
You're listening to Colombo and Katie.
It's Friday!
Changing.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
The Democratic Party doesn't stand with what I stand for.
News Talk STL.
I love that we are once again working with the team at Intervine, a great local family-owned company that has created a customer base all throughout the country due to the quality of their products and the fact that most of their products are sold online. People all over the country have been able to benefit from the superior quality of Intervine's flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even battery selection that they have. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, and headlamps on the market, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight, which is just an amazing product. Everything from this big, bulky, solid self-defense flashlight that is just like a tool, like a piece of equipment that is incredible, all the way down to this small little flashlight that you can, throw in your toolbox or throw in your glove box. Having a trustworthy flashlight, lantern, headlamp is so important. Especially this time of year, a lot of people getting back outside to enjoy the great outdoors. These are great products for the outdoorsmen, but also just something to have in your home or your car to give you that solid, reliable flashlight, lantern, or headlamp. And like I said, even batteries. They sell batteries in all different sizes, all the standard sizes, AA's, AAA's, C batteries. You can get them all at Intervine. And right now, you can get them all for 25% off. All you have to do is use my name, Tony, as your promo code at intervine.com, and everything is 25% off. So just stocking up on batteries is a great way to go because who doesn't need that? Who doesn't need extra batteries around the house, especially if you have kids or a lot of electronics, which who doesn't have that these days? Just stacking up on batteries with this 25% off is amazing. But also amazing to get yourself a couple of these incredible products, flashlights, lanterns, and headlamps. You can use my name, Tony, as your promo code as many times as you want for as much as you want, and it will work for 25% off every single time at intervine.com. That's INTERVINE. Use my name, Tony, as your promo code at intervine.com.
Seavers JCB has amazing deals on JCB mini excavators ranging from 2 tons to 10 tons. It's your choice to take 5 on one of these great offers. 0% financing for 5 years or up to $5,500 cash rebate and a 5-year warranty. See terms and conditions for details, but don't wait too long. These offers are for a limited time at Seavers JCB, and check out their full line of industry-leading JCB equipment. Check them out online at seaversjcb.com.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
NPR senior business editor Erie Berliner has pulled back the curtain, exposing what happens really at National Public Radio. He points out that for many people, they felt that NPR was a national trust. Now, you need to keep in mind that NPR claims less than 1% of its $300 million annual budget comes from you, the taxpayer. That's what they claim. But then they also get 10% from colleges, universities, which are publicly funded, another 5% federal, state, and local governments, and then the money they get for their affiliates, they end up getting 23%, not 1%. And PBS gets even more. They get a total of 39% of public taxpayer dollars, one way or the other. Well, Uri Berliner in his recent point had made, you see now we live in a very polarized media landscape. They, speaking about NPR, established a beachhead on the far left. We've all suspected it, and we've seen evidence of it, but now for an insider to do it and state it that way? Oh, response from NPR? We believe we have inclusion among our staff, and we're good and solid. No, I think based upon what he revealed, you're a propaganda machine paid for by taxpayers.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
You want to give someone something which they will really enjoy? Give them a Cafe Napoli gift card. You pick the amount, and they pick which of the Cafe Napolis they want to visit. Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Cafe Napoli in Town and Country, Napoli 3 on the streets of St. Charles, or right next door, Napoli C. The Napoli gift card. It's the perfect gift for anyone, or your entire office. Cafe Napoli. Cafe Napoli. If you like premium cigars and spirits, take my advice. Check out Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield. The Lit Cigar owners just got back from a major convention in Vegas, and now every day, Lit is getting shipments of special cigars that will certainly amaze you. Check the Lit Cigar Facebook, staying on top of special events. Also, Lit can host a private event for you, your friends, your business. LitSTL.com. LitSTL.com. Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield. This is moving season for many homeowners and businesses. Contact my sponsor, McGuire Moving and Storage. McGuire will come to you, give you a free, honest appraisal. McGuire, fully licensed, insured, local or long distance, with climate-controlled storage. McGuire Moving and Storage has the Larry Connors USA seal of approval. 314-241-0600. 241-0600. McGuireMoving.com. John Beal knows that right after a hailstorm, new roofing companies start popping up everywhere. But the Small Business Administration reports 96% of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So how good is that warranty? John Beal started in the roofing business, helping his granddad and his dad. Always offering the best roof, best price, best guarantee. John Beal Roofing, not some fly-by-the-night operation. Call my friend John, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
I am on the floor so much these days. I am wrangling my dog and wrestling with him. Maeve and I are always playing pink pony and purple pony on the ground. And it has come to my attention how much I am examining my flooring. If you are someone that is looking at your flooring and saying, man, I need new carpet, or gosh, I need to replace this tile, go to Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloored.com. My parents used Michael's and they loved the results, and so did my in-laws. The installation was quick and efficient, and the experts at Michael's helped my parents and my in-laws every single step of the way. Look, something like getting new flooring can be a daunting process, but Michael's makes it so easy. And both my parents and my in-laws had a smile on their face once it was installed, and they were able to use the brand new hardwood that was installed in their home. You can go to Michael's Flooring Outlet at one of their 3 locations in Dardine Prairie, St. Peters, or Creve Coeur, or you can shop online at Michael's
On the next Larry Connors USA.
Is FBI Director Christopher Wray the modern-day Paul Revere? Warning, warning, is anyone listening?
Larry Connors USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
I put my heart and soul in the air. My mind and body exists to please you. Whenever you're down, I'll be there to help you smile.
I think the same thing every day, Larry. Warning, warning, is anyone listening?
Warning, warning.
Is anyone listening? I just don't know.
Is anybody out there?
Is anybody here? Welcome back to Colombo and Katie on 101.9 News Talk STL. A little Friday fun time here for you to send you off into the weekend, hopefully with a smile on your face. Looking at silly. What do you got? Warning? What's the matter? I'm a what? Am I what? You all right?
I just had snot going out of my mouth.
What's wrong with you?
My nose. It's not out of my nose.
What's the matter with you?
No, what? Warning. Okay, I'm done.
Am I what?
Am I what? Okay, I'm done.
Baga!
I love Larry is just
He's
so...
the best.
Warning.
He's the best.
He's the best.
He's the
Okay,
best.
I'm
He's
sorry.
got the voice is
Baga.
so...
Biden against America, great again. Biden against America, great again. Baga.
Yeah. Baga. He's the best.
Baga.
He's the best. You can't beat it. You just can't beat it. It's all it is.
Love him.
I'm looking back at some silly stories of the week to have a little Friday fun time. This one isn't necessarily Friday fun time, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but what do you think about your boy Morgan Wallen throwing chairs? This guy's an idiot, right? I don't know much about him.
Big dumb.
I don't know much about him. Maggie was kind of telling me about him. My 13-year-old daughter, who, if I ever need help with hipness, she's my help. She's like, this guy's an idiot. She's like, Dad, this guy's an idiot. And I was like, yeah, that checks out.
To me, he is the epitome of young celebrity.
Yeah.
Who has the world on a string, who feels like they can do anything. And that includes throwing a chair off of a rooftop in Nashville and hitting people.
I hope he doesn't have the world on a string anymore after this, because that's big. That is big dumb.
And he's smiling in his mugshot. I mean, he blew up in the last several years, and his concerts are sold out completely and very expensive. I think he's living that life where he's just like drunk, stupid, doing stupid things.
Yeah. Talking about McDonald's earlier and their struggle to stay alive in the state of California, maybe this will help. McDonald's is debuting its first ever scented billboards.
Who's going to be able to smell them?
I think these are like the billboards that are like at on the ground.
Oh.
Like at bus stations. and
Okay,
things
I
like
thought
that.
you meant like the big billboards. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, who's going to smell them?
No, these are the ones that are on the ground. As people are like, when like in city areas when you're walking past them.
Okay. Oh, that to me might be a bad combo.
Really? I think it might work.
You know what?
You walk by and all of a sudden you smell McDonald's French fries. You're going to tell me you're not all of a sudden going to be like, I want some McDonald's French fries.
Yeah, but the muskiness of the people, the passersby.
Oh, you think it's going to be a bad combo?
And then maybe like the trash buildup of like maybe the things
so you think it's like
Big
Macs are going to combine with BO and it's going to turn into something bad?
Yeah, I think it might be the double B.
I was thinking it was actually a good move, but you're right. I guess maybe if things get ugly.
Like I'm thinking about New York. I'm thinking about New York City streets.
Right.
And like a waft of armpit and then.
So they're trying them out in the
waft.
Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
They're testing it in the Netherlands right now. And apparently all the reports are that most of the people that walk by, when they ask them what they smell like, they say they smell like French fries. They smell like McDonald's French fries.
Okay.
I could see that becoming a thing. And now, here we go.
That's
if
not
this
bad.
works, I mean, it's going to be like you're walking down the street and then like there's the McDonald's billboard, you smell French fries, and then you walk by the donut shop billboard. It smells like donuts, and then you go a little bit further, and then it's this smell. We could be pumping a lot of smells into the air.
Yeah, that's true. We're the climate
That's what it's like
activists.
at Disney World.
Oh, I bet so.
They pump certain smells into certain rides.
I love that.
Into certain rides, into certain stores, so everything, and then certain resorts have their own Disney World resorts have their own smell.
Think about how powerful that sense is.
That's right. Disney figured that out decades ago. So this is probably a pretty smart move.
It's kind of crazy because, to me, sight is the most obvious most powerful sense we have.
Mm-hmm.
But you almost become jaded when you see billboard after billboard. Like, it's not as appealing because you're seeing it so often. There's so much saturation. But when it comes to smell, That could be very powerful.
For
the
sure.
Disney World thing is a great example.
There is so this week, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, was National Grilled Cheese Day.
Ooh, I love grilled cheese.
I do too. I love
grilled
cheese. Like, you cannot ever go wrong with a grilled cheese. Ever. However, because it was National Grilled Cheese Day, it sparked a debate online about how you're supposed to cut them.
Oh.
52% of America says you cut them diagonally. 21% say to cut them straight.
Oh, I've cut it straight.
Straight down the middle?
I'm
What
more
are you,
diagonal.
a psychopath?
I grew
corner
up,
to corner.
I grew
Woman?
up diagonal. I grew up in a diagonal household.
I should hope so.
But then I've discovered
Who cuts it down the center?
when I cut it down the center, there is more to me. It feels like there is more gathering of the cheese.
So you have two little rectangle sandwiches instead of two triangle sandwiches?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely
No
times
wonder
I've
you
cut it
spend
down
so
the
much
center.
time on the floor.
But I'm telling you.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
I've definitely done both. I've done both.
I can't believe only 52% only cut it diagonally. 21% cut it vertically. 10% cut them horizontally.
It feels like what?
Across this way.
Oh.
Instead
no.
up and down across the center.
No. I feel like the diagonal.
Which is the same cut, by the way, people. It's just whatever way you put them on the plate.
But the diagonal, it spreads the cheese out corner to corner.
Diagonal.
But then if you cut the
Period.
way I cut, the cheese kind of comes all to the center.
No.
No.
Nope. You're wrong. 17% people. 17% people don't cut them at all. I can handle that. Either don't
can't.
cut
That's
them
the
diagonal
worst.
or don't cut them at all.
That's the worst. Don't cut. You're going to eat that like a regular Sammy? No.
I got to read a couple of these real quick. It was also National Pet Day this week, and somebody printed the craziest names for various pets in the the craziest dog names. Boots with the Fur.
Amazing.
Chug Chug Pickles.
Amazing.
Lord Waddles. Lulu the Conqueror.
Fabulous.
How about cat names? Necronomicat.
No, boo.
Steph Purry.
Oh, amazing.
Tony Baloney.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, I had to read them. I'm sorry. That's it. We'll be back on Monday at 2. Have a great weekend. Give it over the O'Reilly Report next in the Tim Jones and Chris Arp Show. Have a great weekend.
For a little while, baby, won't you just stay?
Report cards are a good way to show how well your kids are doing in class and where they might need improvement. We at the Show Me Institute believe schools should get grades too, so parents can see how their child's school compares to others. That's why we came up with the Missouri School Rankings Project. Click on the website moschoolrankings.org.